to drive a better car. I want to live in a better home. I want to have the ability to not have to look at the price tag if I'm going out to dinner. I want to be able to take my family on a nice vacation a couple times a year. I want to make sure that my kids' college education is fully funded. I want to know that our retirement and our portfolio has more than enough liquid that we can live for 30, 40 years without thinking about money. I want all these things, Ed. But then it comes time to pay the price in order to get in that position. And most people ask for a discount. They want a discount on the price that has to be paid. And that is why most people will never, ever, ever, ever get what they want out of life. And there has to be something in you. This is an internal mechanism. It's not one of the things that really bothers me about armchair quarterbacks and so-called critics. You know, the phrase, you'll never ever in your life see a statue erected to a critic. You'll never see that. The statues are for the achievers, the doers, the make it happen captains, the overcomers. You're not going to get a statue for complaining about something, or it's just easy to criticize. It's too easy. So people want the discount. They don't want to pay full price. That's why if you have success in your life, it garners respect. People look at you differently. You move differently. There are things that you can gift to yourself on this journey that no one can, they can't bonus it to you. You're not going to get it from a pay raise. If you look at any profession, law, for example, someone goes to work for a prestigious law firm. Anyone that's aspirational wants to be a partner. Anybody that wants to make a mark, that wants to leave a legacy, they want to be partner. They're not going there for any other reason. And they know that the price is going to be steep, what they have to pay in order to get to that name being on the wall. Anyone in sport that wants to leave an impact understands that they have to do everything in their power to create as much camaraderie and synergy and work with a team so that they can aspire and then win a championship, no matter the sport. Any team, any individual that is aspirational knows that in order to win a championship, the price is going to be steep that you have to pay. So it doesn't matter what you do, what career you're in, the price is always going to be steep. And so often we find ourselves giving ourselves outs and making excuses and getting overwhelmed by current circumstances. Life is going to either make you or break you. Now, the good news is that man didn't make you, so man can't break you. If you understand your power source, it doesn't mean that you're not going to go through trial and tribulation. It doesn't mean that you're not going to endure tremendous amounts of pain, sacrifice, solitude, and suffering. It just means that you're going to be able to endure. And if you can endure, who you become in the process and who you'll be on the other side of that is a superhuman individual. Superhuman. Because that's the capacity that we all have. We have the capacity to be superhumans. It's scary when you think about it. I've always thought, and I'm not saying this to throw shade at anybody who has a religious practice, but I've always thought that more often than not, when I watch religion from my point of view as I've grown up in this country, I've seen religion as a crutch. I've seen it as a tool of manipulation to keep people from taking full responsibility for what they're capable of as a creation and a child of God. That's my take on it. I've had people tell me, I want to be successful, but we'll see what God wants. What? You'll see what God wants. You want to be successful, but you'll see what God wants. I tell you what, how about you tell me you want a job, but you're going to see what God wants, and you just sit at home on your hands and do nothing. Like you expect God to just drop a job in your lap? God willing? I thought your will and God's will were one and the same. What are you talking about? So Me growing up, because I grew up in the pulpit, I didn't grow up in the pews. I grew up in the pulpit. So I always had a unique vantage point in my church going experience. And I'm very grateful for that. It gave me so much greater perspective, because the scary thing is this. The scary thing is, what if we, and I'm only talking to those of you who can relate from I understand where I come from. I believe in something greater than myself. It doesn't matter to me what you believe or not. But for the sake of the conversation, stay with me on this. What if we were to take full ownership of the fact that we have authority and dominion over everything that walketh and liveth upon the earth, and that we are in God's image? Therefore, we can create what we will. We can impact what we will. And, the parable of the talents, as many of you have heard many times, you got three cats. One of them gets a talent, the other one gets two, the other one gets five. And, their master goes away on a trip. He's like, I'm going to give you all these talents. Let's see what y'all do. When I come back, I better see something. So what is he saying? He's like, yo, I'm giving you an opportunity to show me what you're made of. I'm giving you an opportunity to see if you're going to actually implement what I've been teaching. So when I get back, I need to see something. I.e. what? Production, results. You put forth effort. You applied, etc., etc. So the master comes back. The cat that he gave 5 talents to, he's like, yo, man, I took these 5 talents. I got to work, man. I did some investing. I got some workers over here. And I turned 5 into 10. The master's like, well done, good and faithful servant. I'm going to give you more. Goes to the second guy. What'd you do with the 2 talents I gave you? He's like, yo, I took some of the knowledge you gave me. I went out here and I hustled. I'm not as fluid yet, but I'm working, man. I'm working. I put forth effort, and I took those 2 talents and I turned them into 3.5. Master's like, yo, well done, good and faithful servant. He goes to the third guy. He's like, yo, what'd you do with the 1 talent I gave you? And he's like, yo, I took that 1 talent. I didn't want to disappoint you, man. Like, I didn't want you coming back and looking at me crazy. I wanted you to know that I respect you so much, and I want to protect the talent. So I took it and I buried it in the ground so nobody could get it. So here it is. The 1 talent you gave me is still right here. And he's like, get out of my face. You disgrace me. You're a disgrace. You took the 1 talent I gave you and you did nothing with it. That's how most people move in their lives. They've got a talent or 2. Most people have 1. Some people have 2. If you get beyond that, you're talking about, anomalies, right? But there's some. But most people have something that they can cultivate into a trade, into a skill, into a service that brings value to this market that we live in. And whatever that may be, it is our duty and our solemn obligation to live up to that in terms of how we move and the effort we put forth each and every day. So we have this opportunity, and I don't want to waste it. I'm not going to rob someone else of the gift of my impact and my effort, because I have an assignment just like you have an assignment. You were put here for a reason. You survived, as Mr. Brown always says, you survived 150 million sperm. You were born to win. You're here for a reason. You're here to bring value. You're here to do something great with your life. I don't see anybody as living as relegated to living a small life. I don't look at people that way. I don't see people, unfortunately, they see themselves in ways that I would never look at them in that way. I see beyond their capacity. And so we do have to take ownership of our ability and our opportunity. It's really, really important. Whatever track, you're on right now, my sincere hope and prayer is that you are prospering where you're planted, that you're maximizing your current position in such a way that they have to create space. You're doing so much work and so much good and having so much impact. They're forced to either promote you, to push you up, or push you out. Like you're overqualified. You don't need to be here anymore. This is another thing that bothers me. There are people that work jobs, and I have friends that I've had conversations about this. There are people that work jobs, and they're so good at their job, and yet the person or persons that they work for they have a ceiling. They're parked. They're parked. They're going nowhere. So imagine working for someone or someone's who are going nowhere. They're parked and they're not moving ever. And so as you continue to do an exceptional job at your job, and you have other talents, skills, and abilities that will never be nurtured, developed, or cultivated, you hit the ceiling because they're not moving. They're parked. So there are thousands of employees all across this country who have untapped talent and capacity that they will never realize because they've been relegated to a paycheck. Boom. Keep hitting that ceiling. And the person or persons that are parked will never, ever pull them to the side and say, hey, you know what? You're better than this. You're better than us. You're better than this place, this situation. You're better. You need to move on. What the hell are you doing here? There's a movie about Bruce Lee. It's not a very good movie, but there's a scene in there that I always remember. Bruce Lee, one of the most famous martial artists in film, he took it to a different level. Just a phenomenal human being, died tragically at the age of 32, suspiciously, but just a phenomenal human being. In the movie about his life, this guy is working. He's playing Bruce Lee. He's working at a restaurant, and he's a dishwasher, and he's working his way up to, like, he wants to be a server, but he's trying to hustle. And the owner of the restaurant pulls him to the side one day, and she's like, hey, I see you're doing a good job, bussing the tables. And she's like, and you're starting to make a little extra money now with all the tips. And I saw that you were flirting with the waitress, and I see that you guys are involved. And she's like, you know what you're going to do? You're going to get involved you're going to stay involved with the waitress. She's going to take all of your money, and you're going to come back, and you're going to want to wash more dishes. And then you're going to be able to say one day, hey, I'm with a waitress and I'm a dishwasher. And I remember how she said it. You're going to be a glorious dishwasher. And she's like, and your legacy and what you're going to be able to tell your kids when you get older is that I was a dishwasher. And it was such a powerful scene because she's the owner of the restaurant and she's telling Bruce Lee, bro, what the hell are you doing? You're bigger and you're better than this. If I see you here next year, I will have zero respect for you and I have nothing to say to you. He credited that woman with being one of the influences to move him out of that situation that he was getting comfortable in. And he became one of the biggest international martial arts film stars of all time. Who's going to pull your coat and tell you, hey, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Why do we come together every Saturday? So we can have honest conversation with each other, accountability with each other. Like, what are we doing? Money is a way to keep score. That's all it is. It's a little thing that keeps score. Lets us know how we're doing. Lets us know the value we're bringing to the marketplace. If you don't like it, well, I don't know what to tell you. You live in America, and that's just the way it's going to be. Unless you move somewhere else, unless you have unless you're a trust fund baby, unless you have people that are taking care of you, that's the name of the game. That's all it is. So go out there and get what you're worth. Go out there and get what you deem you are worthy of and that you're deserving of. And that's deserving coming from the work that you put in, doing things that will pay you what you're worth. So I had no idea that was going to come out. That was not planned at all because I really wanted to talk about sales. I don't know where that came from. But I do want to highlight the fact that there's two areas that are the highest paid in the entire world. The first one is leadership. The second one is sales. So leadership is the highest paid profession in the world. Sales is the second highest paid profession in the world. Example, the richest man right now, Elon Musk. Okay. He's the founder of Tesla and SpaceX, PayPal, etc. Does Elon Musk know how to, put together Tesla? No, but he knows how to get the right people in position to make sure it is put together and it's run. So he created this vision for this electric car and he got enough people to buy into it that they were willing to put money with his money, and he got workers to buy into it to come and work for the factories, and he was there, to his credit, 100 hours plus a week, yada yada, doing those things. And so it's his vision and his leadership that makes him the highest paid person in the world. Now, the second thing that Elon does is he sells. The second thing he does is he sells. Look, I ain't never seen nobody get a president to do a promo, to cut a promo for their product at the White House, on the White House lawn. I ain't never seen that before. Like, I understand there's a lot of corruption in the current administration and all that. I get it. I'm just saying, from a salesman standpoint, I ain't never seen that. He got the freaking president to do a promo for his freaking car in front of the White House. If that's not a salesman, I don't know what is. Jeff Bezos, he's a leader, he's a salesman. Amazon operated at a deficit. Amazon operated at a deficit for more than 15 years. They were in the negative. Hundreds of millions of dollars in the negative. His leadership, his ability to sell people on his concept, because people laughed at him. You got to remember, people laughed at him. You're talking about bookstore online. Books? What? How you gonna make money selling books online? Ain't no money in that. He's like, no, you don't understand. We're going to start with books because we're going to figure out what people like to read. We're going to figure out what they're into, and then we can spin from what they like to read to what they like to buy. If we can figure out what they like to buy, we can market to them, and eventually we can create a marketplace. And they were like, all right. You still losing money 10 years in, bro. Okay, but I see it's growing. Okay, I got it. So leadership and then sales. Again, he's like the second or third richest person in the world, Warren Buffett. He's a leader and he's a salesman. Why? Because he took investing and he decided he was going to lead by example. And then he sold his concept of investing and finding things with the right infrastructure, i.e. companies that are solid, that sell a product that people continue to buy. And I'm going to invest in the leadership of that company, the leadership of that company, the leadership of that company. He's investing in companies that have a strong CEO, a strong corporate executive team, a very organized, well-run sales force. Leadership, sales, they're intertwined. So if you're talking about one of the highest paid professions in the world, I believe it's worth your while to get good at it. I believe it's worth your while to develop that skill. Now, we talk about the efficacy of our products. The products are amazing. Nobody's questioning that. That's beyond reproach. Okay? We know that. What we have to ask ourselves is, are we beyond reproach in the cultivation of our skills, our communication, our ability to reach out and touch someone, bless someone, give somebody the opportunity to share in this space, to partake of these exceptional products, to have the experience of improving the quality of their homes and their health and their well-being? It's very difficult, ladies and gents, to find alignment with these things. I want to sell something I can be proud of. A friend of mine worked for Coca-Cola for 15 years. And I was like, I understand. You gotta take care of your family. And this is the path that you chose. You wanted to go corporate. Coca-Cola sells nothing of value at all in the marketplace. There's nothing of value that they sell. Coca-Cola. Excuse me. By the way, my friend has diabetes. Like, think about the irony of that. My friend is dealing with, challenges around health. Imagine that. So when you work for a company that is literally poisoning the culture with sugary, syrupy water that's carbonated, that's acidic, that creates obesity and spikes in glucose and, diabetes, and that's how you make your money. That's tough, right? All of us know people that work for companies that don't do anything really that's anything that you'd be proud of or writing home about. Hey, I own a McDonald's franchise. Oh, okay. I mean, that's cool, but you're not selling food. What? It's not food. It's food-like substance that you're selling. There's nothing good about what you're selling. But we're like, oh, but you're a business owner. You own a McDonald's franchise. So I'm not saying that to knock people that are in those situations, because it's business, right? That's a different topic for a different day. What I'm saying is to be in our situation where you have something that actually is good. I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm saying it's good. And it's good for you. It's better for you than what's happening in the marketplace. When you look at what's happening at the mega billion dollar conglomerate level and all of the hot trash that is being sold and promoted, and then you look at what we do, it's a totally different dynamic. It's a totally different conversation. It's a much higher level engagement. And the value proposition is unquestionable. So the only thing that you need to ask yourself is, what am I doing to get better? What am I doing to get better? Because it's worth getting better at doing this, because it's going to pay me for the rest of my life. That's the power of it. But the mindset, the dig that you have to go into, there's a hefty price if you want to change your life, ladies and gents. It's a hefty price. Are you willing to pay it? If you're willing to pay it, you can get it. You can absolutely get it. It's not going to be easy by any stretch of the imagination. You're going to have distractions, no doubt about it. You're going to have events that are unpredictable that are going to come and knock you on your butt. There's no question about it. Those things are going to happen. The question is, how bad do you want it? You're in a very special place where you never have to look over your shoulder and worry that what you're saying is going to come true. It will come true. What you're providing is valuable. What you've aligned with is in tune with your morals and your ethics and your principles. There's nothing that anyone can say or do that you wouldn't be able to promote on screen. I'm living my life like I'm on a big screen that everybody can see. I'm making my moves based on visibility, as if the world can see me and how I'm moving each and every day, especially when I'm by myself, especially in my private moments. Why? Because I have that level of accountability on me, because I know what I'm aspiring to. What are you aspiring to? Are you aspiring to greatness? Are you aspiring to really live up to all of your capacity? Because if you are, you're waking up scared every day, because I do. I wake up scared. I'm like, damn, I don't want to leave meat on the bone today. I don't want to leave nothing on the table. Man, if people were watching me right now and I'm sitting here and I have no desire to get off of my butt, like I don't feel it today. Like I'm in a funk, man. I'm kind of marinating in some sorrow and misery right now. I'm feeling kind of down right now. And people can see it. Okay, well, they're just gonna have to see it until I can get up. I don't feel like getting up, but I'm gonna get up. I don't feel like taking the action, but I'm gonna take it anyway. And eventually my action creates the emotion, and the emotion catches up with the action. But if I were to sit on my emotion and wait for action, it doesn't work that way. You gotta move, right? Especially when you don't feel like moving. So I encourage you to keep developing your skill set. I encourage you to really take it seriously, what we're doing here. I do have respect for those of you that I've had conversations with where we're talking about, life when it's life, and when we're talking it through. Hey, here's what's going on. Here's what I'm dealing with. All right, let's talk it through. Let's figure out the best way to move through this process, because it's just a period in time. Most people make permanent decisions in temporary situations. I don't recommend it. Reach out, have conversation. Who are you listening to? Who are you plugging into? Who are you tuned into? What you tune into, you turn into. What you tune into, you turn into. I hope that all of you are taking great care of this space up here, that you're taking great care of who you surround yourself with, thinking that's outthinking you, taking great care that who you're strategically partnering with are people that are going to elevate you in every facet of your life. And then the money just lets us know how we're doing. It's a way to keep score. I track my income for January, and I'll know exactly what the number is for February, and I can tell you exactly what the number is going to be for March. Well, I'll know at the end of March, but I'm tracking it, is my point. That first quarter, Q1 of 2026, you better believe I'm measuring it, because it keeps pressure on me, positive pressure, but it keeps the foot to the pedal to the metal. So I appreciate you guys, hanging out, popping on. It's always good to spend time with you.